Okay, this is from WebMD. What is parentification? Written by Amber Felton, medically reviewed, medically, by Renee A. Ali, MD, dated September 20th, 2024. What is parentification? Parentification is often referred to as growing up too fast. Typically, it occurs when a child takes on parental responsibility for their siblings or even their parents. Taking care of a sibling or parent physically, mentally, or emotionally. This can damage a child's mental well-being and lead to long-term mental health conditions such as depression and anxiety. And I would venture to say PTSD. Types of parentification. Emotional parentification. Emotional parentification occurs when parents impose their emotional needs on their children and seek emotional and mental support from them. Of the two types of parentification, emotional parentification is considered more complex and challenging for the child. Instrumental parentification. Instrumental parentification is similar to emotional parentification and often goes hand in hand with it, like adults in small bodies. However, instead of children strictly tending to their parents' emotional needs, children engaged in instrumental parentification are tasked with chores. Chores like ethics, chores. Scrubbing toilets with toothbrushes. And responsibilities like muster, washing their own clothes, being Sea Org, hotel staff, being Sea Org maids. Strictly tending to their parents' emotional needs. Children engaged in instrumental parentification are tasked with chores and responsibilities that aren't appropriate for their age group. How about that, FBI? This could include grocery shopping, cooking meals, paying bills, caring for sick siblings or parents, and more. I would add in there too, working a job. And it just depends on the situation, but parentification symptoms. Symptoms vary from situation to situation. The more severe the case of parentification, the more severe the symptoms will be. Some common symptoms include stress and anxiety, stomach aches or headaches, aggression, academic troubles, social difficulties, trouble maintaining friendships, inability to enjoy age-appropriate activities. Age-appropriate activities, troll. Neglect of their own needs and feelings. Isn't that all of Scientology? Feelings of self-blame and self-doubt. Kind of like a KR, making amends, being in a condition of treason, condition of non-existence, condition of doubt. Kind of like that. Shaming. Anger and depression over the loss of childhood in teenagers and adults. Teenagers and adults, like staff members in Scientology. Substance abuse. Other signs of parentification may include acting as a mediator between parents, being complimented on being mature, mature, like a pedal magnet, or responsible by outsiders, struggling to show emotions due to fear, like being banky, or being interbulated, or having a human emotional response. Scientology. Struggling to show emotions due to fear of a parent's response, or a FSR, and feeling more emotionally mature than a parent. Like an adult in a small body FBI. Homeland Security. Parentification causes. Typically, a child may be parentified if a parent is unable to fulfill their own role. How about signing off guardianship? How about that, FBI? As a parental figure, for various reasons, like adults in small bodies, FBI, Department of Justice. These reasons may include divorce, chronic illness, disability or a death in the family, alcoholism or drug addiction, or how about an LRH policy? Scientology. Physical or mental abuse by a partner. Oh, Scientology doesn't know anything about that, does it? Actually, predatory tendencies, sometimes directed at the child. Pedal magnets. Immaturity, emotional unavailability, or depression. How about not being available at all for the children? How about that? Financial hardship. Parentification effects. Listen up, Scientologists. Parentification can have harmful effects on children. How about that, first gens? That can last into adulthood. Yeah, first gens. Though the symptoms vary from person to person, sometimes appearing much later in life. Other times, mental health disorders, including depression and anxiety. Oh, there's so much more than that. May develop during childhood. Oh, but guess what? In Scientology, the child is told that they are banky, that they have too much bank, that they're interbulated, that they need to get their overts and withholds in, not allowed to show emotion. That's abuse, per all definitions throughout the entire world. Especially when children feel pressured to perform specific tasks. Like having your stats up? Like having your stats up. Production up. Making amends. Parentification can also affect a child's ability to show and receive love. Oh, love is not valued in Scientology, or more so by, allegedly, L. Ron Hubbard, which goes all the way along with the Brave New World agenda, turning people into lizard brains. I mean reptilian. Go look it up. Children who have been emotionally parentified often face problems such as eating disorders. Oh, well, oftentimes the children in Scientology don't get to eat well. It's called neglect, malnutrition. And addiction later in life. That is a harmful self-regulation tactic. An unhealthy coping mechanism. They may also exhibit temper outbursts. Oh, that would be being Bank as a child in Scientology. Additionally, adults who were parentified as children may exhibit poor passive communication skills and have unstable relationships with family, friends, and partners. Because they didn't learn what healthy was. Probably going around taking care of everybody else except themselves. Sometimes this instability can result in unhealthy attachment due to insecurities and anxieties. Parentification examples. Parentification can rear its ugly head in many ways. Some examples of parentified behavior include caring for younger siblings. Like being a nanny? Like being a nanny in Scientology. Unregulated. Unlawful nannies. And we know they're all about it. Caring for younger siblings. When a child is parentified and has a younger sibling, they often assume a parental role in their sibling's life. The type of responsibility they take on for their younger sibling will depend on the child's age. That's the whole cadet org. And we know the horrible, awful things that happened in the cadet org and these schools. Delphian school, anyone? Get me started. If their sibling is an infant or toddler, they may complete tasks such as changing diapers, feeding, bathing, potty training, and putting them to sleep. Like the kids in all these schools and all these, the cadet org, the lower ranch, all these places. The feds and everybody just frickin' hunky-dory with it. As long as they get their frickin' checks in the mail. It's my opinion. If the sibling is past that age, the child may perform other tasks, such as preparing food. Like SP Chef that was doing kitchen work at 9 years old. And how many other child Scientologists, including Jenna Miscavige, have talked about working in the kitchen. And all the adults were just like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Ensuring clean clothes. Well, a lot of the kids in the Sea Org or the Scientology agencies, or what do you call it, like, they don't get clean clothes. In fact, they get to clean their own clothes on the only day they have off, which I think is Sunday. It's not even really a complete day off, I don't think. The children, FBI, are responsible for washing their own clothes. They have to purchase their own laundry detergent, their own personal items. Because everybody in Scientology, well, not everybody, but a lot of these parents don't know what being a parent is. If the sibling is past that age, the child may perform other tasks, such as preparing food, ensuring clean clothes, ensuring the sibling goes to school. Oh, Scientology has buses to take all the children to these indoctrination centers. Yeah, and they usually mix them up with adults. You know, pedophiles, all of them. Helping them with homework and more. Taking on household responsibilities. Huh. How many children? I think Jenna Miscavige talked about how she would have to clean out the hotel rooms in, I don't know if it was the Fort Harrison Hotel, but it was in that area. Yeah, isn't that wonderful? I mean, what other way to support a multi-billion-dollar corporation than to have child labor? The cops, they like to take their payments from child labor. Facts. Children who have been parentified are often left to handle household responsibilities, such as paying bills, cleaning the house, taking out the garbage, cooking meals for the whole family, grocery shopping, and more. That pretty much covers all the Scientology children. I mean, probably some of the public kids don't have to go through all that. But I'd say at least 90% of these kids have to go through this all day long. Because, and the whole excuse is that the parents cannot get enough time off to see their kids. Like, that's the running, what is it called when you're, like the response that you keep getting on repeat over and over? Caring for oneself. Well, again, that's all the Scientology kids, all of them. Since parentified children take on responsibilities for their parents, this often includes taking care of themselves, scheduling their own doctor appointments, and more. Or in the case of Megan Lara Anderson, she got that head injury. Remember how she explained to everyone that I forget exactly what she was doing, but she fell off something like a fence or something and landed right on her head. And she had a concussion. I don't think they took her to the doctor immediately because, why would you do that, right? That alone right there tells me they know what they're doing is wrong. That alone right there. And then, instead of getting any compassion or love, I think they did eventually take her, whomever was in her vicinity, probably the cadet org, probably, another 12-year-old. Someone got her to the doctor, and then it was deemed she did have a concussion. So she had to rest. I might have this a little screwed up. Sorry, Lara. But she had to rest. And she was so excited because she could watch TV, I think. Nobody gave her any compassion or empathy for what she had gone through. And a concussion's pretty serious. She got yelled at and screamed at because they had to take money out of the medical fund for her. Yeah, that's what Scientology kids get. But apparently, the vice presidents, they don't get the memo. The governors don't get the memo. The police don't get the memo. Right. Mediating between parents. No relationship is perfect, and when two parents fight, a child is sometimes put in the middle. In fact, a parentified child will often act as a mediator between the two, providing counsel and helping their parents calm down. That is like complete embarrassment. It's disgusting. Providing emotional support. Parentified children are often tasked with providing emotional support to their parents. Because, their parents can't grow up and be adults. It's very narcissistic. Listening to their parents' complaints, dissatisfactions, and frustrations. And then being expected to provide them with advice and support. Sometimes one parent will complain about the other parent to a child or share information that should not be shared with them. This may also include keeping secrets from the other parent or other family members. Parentification treatment. Treatment for parentification usually occurs when the parentified child has grown up and realizes how unstable their childhood was. Like the second gens and the third gens? Which in their case, it was crimes. It was criminal behaviors. Nobody knows anything. At this point, individuals may seek therapy to help cope, or go to your nearest lawyer, like, what is it, Thornton? Andrews and Thornton? Yeah, go check out Andrews and Thornton to help cope with parentification effects on them, including depression, anxiety, and insecurities. Therapy may also help children repair broken bridges with their parents. Maybe. I believe. There's a lot of reasons why this had happened. I can't say in every situation, in every single situation, that they're a narcissist. We know people in poverty. There's always so many reasons. But I would venture to say a lot of them are more narcissistic. You ain't never going to repair anything with a narcissist, ever, ever, ever. Boundaries must also be set. Speaking of narcissist, be set between a child and a parent. Or, there's always no contact. While children may not understand how to set boundaries or feel guilted, that's narcissism, into avoiding them, by the time you grow into adulthood, it's essential to have family established boundaries and limitations regarding what you will and won't do for your parents. Prioritizing yourself, your needs, and your mental health is essential. So, I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night, wherever you are. Peace.